Alright. So now there are actually two process. Okay. One we call it normally idol. Why we refer to idol? Is same ear do, nose do, tongue do, body do. Is same process like this one. Okay. So it's like we call it it's like we call it come out from the bawanga. Bawanga, like I say, is the mind that he, the kind of mind that happen to you when you're asleep, especially when you have the dreamless night. It's very very we call it very underlying. It's kind of like underlying currents that run all the time. Because without the bawanga, our life will ends. Bawanga represent any one moment of our life. So one moment, another moment, another moment, another moment. So when there's no any process, then the mind will drop down to the bawanga. Sometimes they call it subconsciousness. All right. So when any of the door happen, for example, like idol, there will be this one. So P, all these are Pali, Panchadwara Vajana, Chakuvinyana, Sambatichana, Santirana, Uttapana. All right. Okay. So before I start with some more, so it's good to do revision again because it's very important. Now, there will be three bawanga. The first one called Atita bawanga, past bawanga. Then there will be vibrating bawanga. Okay, because when the object coming is no more, the mind start to be more active. So this is why they call it vibrating. And then the bawanga will be ceasing or arresting bawanga because bawanga is kind of like we call it live stream. All right. Sometimes they call it live continuum. So that's why it must be stopped. So that's why we call it okay. So we call it arresting bawanga or ceasing bawanga. Then there will be a consciousness that start to look, pay attention to the now. If happen at the idol, you will be present visible object. So the object happen at the present time. So we call it present visible object. So this is called Pancha Dwara Awajana. So it's good you all familiarize yourself with the Pali. Pancha is five, Dwara is door, Awajana is everything. Everything means uh pay attention. Pay attention to the five doors, any of the five doors. So specifically the next one will be Chakku Vijnana, eye door, eye consciousness. Sampatichana, receiving consciousness that receive the object. Investigating Santirana, inquires the object. Determining Uttapana, determine the object. Then there will be Jawana. We call it dynamic, all right? Now, why is it called dynamic? Because it is the one that really so-called enjoy the object. For example, 29 Jawana Chitas on a karma plan. There will be 29 will be 12 akusala. So akusala will enjoy the akusala object, like the person angry. So you will enjoy the anger. But if idol, that means that the object will be something to do with the we call it if remember we last time we mentioned if akusala, so the object you will see will be unpleasant object, right? Like car accident or dung or feces and so on. So mahakusala. So on the idol, what will be mahakusala? Mahakusala will see something beautiful object like flower or Buddha statue. Mahakriya happen to the Arahant or Buddha. So the Buddha Arahant see something. Hasyutupada, when the Buddha uh here if idol, that means that the Buddhas see something. Okay. Smiling consciousness. So far for this basic level, I will not focus so much on the numbers, but just to put the numbers here for you to know is one of the 29 Jawana. Jawana means is something that dynamic is actually really experiencing the object because so far you can see on above it's just something that see, something that receive, something that inquire, something that determine, but they didn't really enjoy the object or really experience the object. So come to Javana process is the one that really experience the object. So normally they will say the karma actually create at this Javana state. And then after Javana, then because you can see the object will not cease immediately. So there will be something that take the object. So we call it registration or retentive from the Pali word ta. Aramana. Aramana is object. Ta is that object. So that object is taking the same Jawana object, right? So it will be three Santirana. So you still have to remember your Chitta. So there are three Santirana and eight Maha Vipaka taking this job of registration or retentive. Okay. Now, remember we already study the different type of this great object means that it will finish with the retentive 17 here. Okay. So I think for all the Abhidhamma students, you really have to remember there are three Bawanga, Bawanga, Bawanga. Then like just now, Fido, Ido, receiving, investigating, determining. Then seven Javana, and then two retentive or Tadaramana. So this is a very clear object. Then for great object, finish with Jawana. Slight object, finish with Watapana. Then the very slight object is just vibrating only. So you already we discussed here. Okay. This one I think you also not for you all to memorize, but at least you need to understand that different process happen because of different object. So very great object finish with Tadaramana. Okay. When the great object, so means that it's not so much impactful because of there are so much more pass bawanga. So it only finish at the Jawana. So why is it there's no retentive on the you can see on the process number two? Why is it there's no retentive but is there's a bawanga? So it seems to be according to understanding is that there will be only need to have two retentive. So if two cannot come out, so this one also a single one cannot come out. So that's why it only finish with Jawana. And Javanas must be seven. So that's why these two and three will be finished with Jawana. So this is called great object. Now for slight object, so there is because the object is slight, there is no Jawana. But instead of Jawana, there will be only Bawanga Bawanga. So remember Bawanga 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 always happen because it's the type of chitta that always occur in our mind when there's no more like these circumstances. You can see that even in the cognitive process like this, when the object is light, the bawanga also happen. And all these pass also bawanga. Okay, so only these are not bawanga. So they are Fido, Ido, receiving, investigating, and here there are three determining. Either three, here also three, here also three, here also three, and here also three. But the process number nine only two. So either three or two. Okay. So that's why the next one, 10 to 15, is when the object is very slight, so very slight impact. So it's only vibrating a bawanga only. Okay. So even though it's vibrating here, but you can see all are bawanga because past is also bawanga. Vibrating is also bawanga. The rest are normal bawanga. It's also called bawanga. So that's why this is called moga. So it means that it has no process at all. So we call it moga. So the previous one will have different name like ending with jawana, ending with wotapana, right? The first one is ending with the retentive, okay? All right, so this process is called ending with retentive. Process 2 and 3 is ending with jawana. And the next one is ending with the wotapana. The last one is ending with moga, right? So all these are depend on the types of object. Okay. All right. Any question up to this part? So you can see all these are very profound. Only the because Abhidhamma is said to be preached by the Buddha to the Deva, so only Buddha can see all this very detailed and very I would say not easy even for us to understand. Because all this happen very fast. Because at one blink of eye, there are billion of consciousness arise and pass away. Okay. Okay. All right. Now let's go for this one. All right. Now same also for the Maido. Mental process is Maido. Now, Maido is different. All right. Now, the first difference you can see, there's only two Bawanga. Okay. There's only number one and two. There's no more past Bawanga. Why? Because the Bawanga already passed in the Aido. All right. So there's no need past Bawanga here. So there's only vibrating, same vibrating and arresting Bawanga. Then instead of five do everything, there here is a my do everything. And also here are seven Jawana. All right. Seven Jawana. And then followed by same, two retentive, and then Bawanga, Bawanga. So if the object is obscure, not so clear, so we Buddha is a clear, Avi Buddha is a not clear, so there will be no retentive. Okay. So for the clear object, the process starts with two Bawanga Chittas, then the Maido everything, seven Javanas, and two retentive consciousnesses, Tadaramana. Okay, for beings in a fine material and immaterial planes, retentive process does not occur. For the obscure object, the process does not have two retentive consciousness. This means that sometimes, according to different plane, like karma plane, karma is a sensual pleasure. The sense sphere is there will be retentive, but fine material immaterial means that the lupa alupa plane. All right, fine with that. Better put about it. Rupa Vachara, okay, Rupa plan, and all these are immaterial, Arupa plan. So the process is different from the Karma plan, Rupa Vachara. Okay, okay. So, right. Uh, okay, let me finish this page before I go to earlier page. There's one page I miss, all right? Okay, but all these are according to some teacher, and Lady Saido is one of the very famous Abhidhamma teacher. He also taught meditation. He already passed about many years ago. So he can say there can be four presentation object in the mind. Also refer to comprehensive page 166. Ati Vibhuta very clear. Ends with retentive registration. Vibhuta clear. Ends with Javana. Avibhuta obscure. Ends with the mind or everything. Ati Avibhuta very obscure. Ends with the mere vibration of Vibhanga. Right? So you can see even in Abhidhamma, there are different scholar will give different opinion. The clarity of presentation depends on either the prominence of the object or the strength of consciousness. For a prominent object can appear clearly even when the consciousness is weak, while the strong consciousness can clearly cognize, cognize even a subtle abstruse object. Okay, so this is according to his opinion. So different scholar have different opinion here, right? Right. So let's go for previous page. I think the previous page has uh okay. So this is now we start to know about the process happen in the idol and midol. Now let's see how can we start to analyze, how do we see things or how do we process information. To have further information about the object, these are the minimum three mental processes in mind or which runs with the object, all right? Aware of the past object. So when first the idol will see something, so the information pass the mindol. So the mindol knows, need to aware of the object that's seen just now. Then after that, it start to catch the name of the word. For example, the object is flower. He know, oh, this is a flower. So after that, he will know what's the meaning of the flower. Oh, flower is a plant. It has color like this. So minimally, we call it, there must be three mental processes, but actually there can be more than three. All right. Now, that's how supposed to be very in a very simple way how we process information. First, get something from the other door, I door. Then after that, start to process the information. Then the mind will say, "Oh, it's a flower." Then the mind must know what is the meaning of the flower. That is very simple, very process. Three of them, three of this process. Okay. Now this is all I get from the comprehensive manual of Abhidhamma and also other books. Okay. Ladies, I will explain that it is in these consequence processes that distinct recognition of the object occurs. Such recognition does not occur in a bare FIDO process itself. An idle process, for example, is followed. So this means that when you see things, it will not just based on idle. After idle, then it must pass information to the MIDO. So after the idle, then there will be start to have a one MIDO process. Okay, this is called conformational MIDO process. In the Bali, tada anuwatika. So from the word tam is that. Anuwat Anuwata means follow, okay, and then with the ika suffix, okay. Tam anuwata and ika. So means following. That's why I call it conformational MIDO process. Mano, my, dwara, do, with the condition process, which reproduces in the middle the object thus perceived in a sense door process. Okay, so first you have the idle process, which you can say is a number one. Actually, you can say this is number two already. But in Mido, this is a number one. Okay. So it's just the information from the idol must come here, just reproduce it. It's the same object that seen by the idol now produced in the Mido. Now the second process grasping the object as whole. Samudaya ka hika. By original sense door process and then the conformational Mido process, combining shots of the object into a perception of unity. This means that when they see something, they need to combine uh the information until the mind can get the idea about one thing as a whole. All right. So later we will see the book for more information. So let's go for the number three. Process recognizing the color. Wana salakana. Wana is color here. Process grasping the entity. Watu is entity. Kahika is a take or grabs. Process recognizing the entity. Watu salakana. Right? So these two sums seems to have same Pali. Process of grasping the name. Nama Gahika. Process of recognizing the name. Nama salakana. Right? So uh okay, for this we need to look for this one. Okay, now this is the guide number 12, the comprehensive manual of Abhidhamma, page 163. So we will read some more here and we go back later because here will give more information and it's good to read this book for extra knowledge. Can I invite somebody to read okay, Ming. Okay, I shall invite Sister Ming Si. All right, can you read this one?
Hello, Saiji. Yes,
Yes. You are absent for some time,
yes,
so that's why I
disappear.
invite you to read. Okay. All right.
The
Okay, you can
mind
read now.
door process. When a cognitive process occurs in one of the sense doors, two doors are actually involved. The physical sense door and the mind door, which is the bhavanga from which the cognitive process emerges. What is called a mind door process is a cognitive process that occurs exclusively through the mind door without any admixture of the sense door. This kind of process is also called, for the sake of clarity, a bare mind door process. Sudha Mano Dwara Viti. The mind door process includes both the limited or sense sphere process, Parita Viti, dealt with in section 12 to 13, and the cognitive process in absorption pertaining to the sublime Mahagata and supramundane Lokutara attainments dealt with in section 14 to 16. The limited or sense sphere mind door process is itself twofold. One, the consequent of a five-door process, Pancha Dwara Dwaranubandaka, and two, the independent process, Visung Siddha. Just as when a gong is struck once by a baton, the gong sends forth a continuous stream of reverberations, so when one of the five sense doors has been impinged upon once by a sense object, after the five-door process has ceased, the past sense objects comes into range at the mind door and sets off many sequences of mind door process. Because this cognitive process come as the sequel of a five-door process, they are known as consequent processes. They are counted as five-door by way of the five sense door processes which they follow. Lady Sayadaw explains that it is in these consequent processes that distinct recognition of the object occurs. Such recognition does not occur in a bare five-door process itself. An I-door process, for example, is followed first by conformational mind door process, which reproduces in the mind door, and the object just perceived in the sense door process. Then comes the process grasping the object as a whole, then a process recognizing the color, then a process grasping the entity, then a process recognizing the entity, then a process grasping the name, then a process recognizing the name. The process grasping the object as a whole is the mind door process, perceiving as a whole the forms repeatedly perceived in individual frames by the two preceding process, the original sense door process and the conformational mind door process. This process exercises a synthesizing function, fusing the perception of distinct shots of the object into the perception of a unity, as in the case of a whirling firebrand perceived as a circle of fire. It is only when this has occurred that recognition of the color is possible. When the recognition of color occurs, one recognizes the color. I see blue. When the recognition of the entity occurs, one recognizes the entity or shape. When the recognition of a name occurs, one recognizes the name. Thus, Lady Sayadaw asserts, it is only when a recognition process referring to one or another specific feature occurs that one knows, I see this or a specific feature.
Okay, thank you. All right, you read very nice. Are you ex-teacher?
Oh, yes, but
I
not
can
any.
recognize the teacher name, like you and Doris, all you all have a teacher's voice, you know? Okay, thank you. All right, okay. Now you all can just read, this is a page one, just now, 20, all right? 164. Okay, read again. Read again yourself, okay? About this process. 164. Yeah, I think I write there. Okay. So I think just now we got one watu gana watu sanggana. Okay, all right. Yeah, okay. So you have to read that one and think about it and write your own example. So this one you should take as your homework. Read the text again and try to find one example for all this. What is the process number one, process number two? Why you just say like the number two is combining the idol and midol. So you can take, for example, you see a flower. So the idol see a flower, midol produce a midol and then go to idol and midol. Okay, so a flower. And then color, you recognize the color of the flower like blue. Okay, then you grasp entity like what. Okay, then they recognizing like it's a flower, then give a name, maybe lotus or whatever. So think about it. Okay, think about it. And if you read this handbook or Abhidhamma, you also can get more answer there. All right. So if any of you manage to think about it, so we can share your answer next week. All right. So take it as small homework for you all. And also, this is the more explanation given on this page 164. All right. So this is about how we process the information in the mind. First, they are idle. Then this process happen in mind. Okay. Just now you already say here the mind process includes both limited. It's called limited because of the Pali word palita. So this refer to karma vachara happen in our normal life when you object to do with the normal life like the eye see something, the ear hear something. All right. So we just take it as normal things happen in our fido. Anything coming from the fido. So we call it the limited here. But sometimes we have something we call it more higher. This is to do with Mahagata means sublime. Absorption means to do with jhana, all right? So any process to do with jhana and also any attainment to do with enlightenment process. So this is different process. So this is number two. To do with just mean that absorption refer to jhana. Supramundane refer to just enlightenment. So basically we just say to do with jhana and enlightenment, all right? So the first process is anything to do with what we see, what we hear, what we smell, and so on. And then we go to the mind door to process it. So if you can differentiate, it's already okay. So for this handout, I only explain about this parita, what happened to the idol. So the what happened to the jhana and enlightenment, I leave it for another maybe intermediate because the process are more not to say more difficult, but it's not necessary for practice of vipassana. Right. Okay, now the limiter or sense sphere mind door process it itself twofold. So the first one called that consequences to a five door process. So that's mean that like just now, when you see something, then the information pass to the mind door. When you hear something, the information pass to the mind door. When you smell something, you think smell something, you taste something, your body touch something. So any of the five door, then the information pass to the mind door. So we call it this is this one pancha should be a V here. Okay, pancha dwara. Please take insert a V. Pancha dwara anubandhaka. So there is the process of mind door that happen after the FIDO. Just very simply, after the FIDO, one of the FIDO, then the MIDO will happen. So this is the number one. So, but the number two is it happen itself without any of the FIDO process. So we call it independent process. We sum sida. Now this will be interesting to people about how the way we think, how the way we process information in the MIDO that nothing to do with the FIDO process. This to do only with the independent process number two. Okay, so I will invite Sister Go. Can you read this one? Sister Go? Yes.
Um, for the independent process, Lady Sayadaw cites various sources from commentaries through what was directly perceived earlier, or by inference from what was directly perceived, through what was learned by oral report, or by inference from what was learned by oral report, on account of belief, opinion, reasoning, or reflective acceptance of a view by the power of karma, psychic power, disturbance of the bodily humors, the influence of a deity, comprehension, realization, and etc. He explains that if one has clearly experienced an object even once, at a later time, even after 100 years or in a future life, dependent on that object, a condition may be set for the vibration of the bhavanga. The mind that has been nurtured on such an input of prior experiences is extremely susceptible to their influence. When it encounters any sense object, that object may trigger off in a single moment mental waves extending to many thousands of objects or previously perceived.
Okay.
Mm.
Do you understand what you read?
It's like
uh,
roughly it's like no matter whatever you have
yeah.
encountered,
Mm,
you perceive even after many years or many
yeah.
life. Uh, if let's say there is anything, it can trigger it to happen, then that thing may come back again. I don't understand
Mm,
how you understand this.
okay. But in a way, it's also good. So let's see if we experienced something many 100 years ago, an object, Sometimes we don't know what a condition. That's why we say we always do good deeds. When we do good deeds, good condition will trigger the good object that we experienced many 100 years ago. We can take it this one. Because he said the mind is very according to this lady side. Of course, he's cited from the commentaries. Commentaries means ancient elders, venerable who write the Atthakatha, right? Because when we see something, that thing will trigger the process in the mind door. But that thing is actually to do not in this life. It might be something to do with our past life. And the condition is the keyword is condition. Condition is important. So that's why we always do good deeds because we hope to trigger any good mind that we have in a past life. Okay. And it also like this it's also explained, for example, when you see somebody, sometimes you see a person only once, but you feel that that person is like for a very long time. Okay. Because all these are past effect of the things. The person is the object maybe you love or you like in the past life. Or when you see something, you seem to remember it. Okay. Now we will read some more about this. This is quite interesting. Yeah. What is the meaning about this independent process? Okay, now remember we are talking about independent process. It's nothing to do with what we see or what we hear in our five door. It's just an independent process happen in the mind door. So here according Lady Sado, he also follow the commentaries from other elders. Terra. Okay. So from this one, we look at there's another reference here. Uh, the Handbook of Abhidhamma. Okay. Okay. Now, this is also important. Okay. So somebody read this one first. This one up to from this part, the question up to this one. Chai Hun, you can read this one. Here up to here. Okay. Here up to here.
The question may be raised how an object can enter the range of the mind door independently of a proximate sensory impingement. There is no sensory impingement, but through mind, objects can arise or objects can present themselves to the mind without the help of the five senses. Lady Sayadaw cites various sources, suttas. Actually, these are from the Atta Salini and Mulatika Tika of the Atta Salini. So
Okay.
it
Thank
is
you.
that okay.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So the point is, Lady Saito, he's cited from this one. Atta Salini is a commentary for Abhidhamma. Mula Titka is a sub-commentary of Abhidhamma. Okay, so this means that when people they read Abhidhamma, then there's discussion and various contribution of ideas from many elders and so on. The keyword is here, okay? There's no sensual impingement, but through mind, the object can arise or the object can present themselves to the mind without the help of five senses. This also explain why the hell being right. Let's say people go to hell, right? Or any people go to hell, they will see something bad, you know, they've been tortured, they hear something bad. Then how can they have good karma to escape from hell, right? Because the object can present themselves to the mind, not to do with their five senses, means that not to do with their environment. For those in hell being or those born in ghosts or animals, if what they see in their five senses are bad things, how can they have good karma, right? If the object can present themselves, then it makes sense. All right. Okay, now, so we come to this point just now on this text. Through what was directly perceived earlier. All right. So now we will read this part. Okay. Just now I copied from this comprehensive manner of Abhidhamma, and the Sayadaw U Silananda, he explained about this part. What was directly perceived earlier. So what's the meaning? Okay, somebody read this one from here to here. Okay. Chiwon? Chiwon, can you read this one? This one to here only.
Yeah, okay. That means you from here to here.
Yeah,
That
this
means
one to
you
here.
have experienced something before. Later on, you call that experience to your mind. That object appears to your mind. That let's just say you saw something yesterday. Now you can recall it and see it in your mind. The past object presents itself to your mind. That is because of your mental power. There are two different presentations. The object of five senses strikes at the mind door and at the sense doors. In the five sense doors, it is the power of the sense doors. In the five sense doors, it is the power of the object that makes the bhavanga vibrate and the other thought moments arise. But here it is the power of your mind that brings forth objects to your mind. It is not through the power or strength of objects, but through the power of your mind that these objects, mostly past or future, appear inside your mind.
Okay. So for this, the one in the text, what was directly perceived earlier on is through the power of the mind, nothing to do with the object, all right? Because we are talking about now, we are talking about this independent process. So when you recall something in your mind, so then it will be happen in the mind process, okay? It's nothing to do with the object from the five sense though. Okay, right. Okay, so now for the second text, by inference of what or what was directly perceived, inference, all right? Okay, and the third one is oral report. Okay, so we will read this one. Okay. Uh okay. Maybe Brotherly. Can you read this one, Brotherly? This one up to here, Brotherly.
Yes, sure. Or by inference from what was directed perceived, that means what you have seen or what you have heard, and so on. That way also the object can appear to your mind or enter the range of cognition. Through what was learned by oral report, that means you learn of something through hearsay. You do not experience it yourself, but you hear someone say something about it. When you think of it and have that object in your mind.
Okay, thank
Or,
you.
okay, thank you.
Okay. Now the next one. Okay. So actually we are explaining word by okay. Now this is oral over now inferencing. Okay. So so we will read this one. Okay. Okay, I think Somebody draw the line. Okay, next one. Where are we now? Okay. Okay. Now, belief. What is the meaning of belief? Right. Next person. This one, you can read the whole thing. Uh, Doris? Yes. Doris? Yeah.
Okay, thank you. On account of belief, sometimes you believe in something and you think of it, and then the object enters your mind. Sometimes, on account of your opinion, you have some kind of opinion, so that appears to your mind. Sometimes there is reasoning. You don't just think about it, you weigh it in your mind and have reason for this and that, and you come to a conclusion. In that way, the object can enter your mind.
Please
Continue.
continue. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Or reflective acceptance of a view. That means you accept some view after reflecting on it. When you have accepted it, that view appears to your mind.
Okay. All right. So we already have different fun. You heard oral report when you heard something, then you think about that. Or inference from the oral report. So you have certain belief when you think about that. So that's how the object come to mind. Or you accept it after this one. All right. Now power. Okay. Now this is interesting about karma. Thomas, can you read about yeah, you can read about yeah.
Okay.
Thomas, yes.
By the power of karma. Sometimes, for example, the karma object will appear to your mind when you are dying. It is by the power of karma that that object is presented to your mind. And by psychic power. So if you have psychic power or abhinya and others, then you can take these objects in your mind. Disturbance of the bodily humors. Sometimes, because your body is not in good health, this object will appear. Bodily humor means something in the body like phlegm, wind, and bile. They are called the three dosas of the body. Dosa doesn't mean anger here. Dosa here means three faulty things in the body. They should be balanced. If they are not in balance, you have some kind of disease. If you have too much phlegm, maybe you have one kind of disease. If you have too much wind, maybe you will have some other kind of disease. And if you have too much or too little bile, you will have another kind of disease. These are called bodily humors. Sometimes they are unbalanced. So when they are unbalanced, some objects may enter your mind. Sometimes you have bad dreams because it is too cold for you or too hot for you, or you are constipated or something like that.
Okay, thank you, Thomas. All right, now I think this part is karma is important, right? Last time we talked about karma. So how does when somebody is dying, how can they still get object, all right? Sometimes the karma object will appear by itself to the mind, right? It's by the power of karma. So you have karma and karma nimitta, right? And also maybe gati nimitta also. Yeah. Now, if we have psychic power, abhinya means supernormal power, is to do with also psychic power and other powers like divine eye, divine ear, and so on. So we can take the object. Sometimes humors. Humors is this is kind of like one of the it's not ancient kind of like medical. So I checked the dictionary. It's something to do with the Western medieval time, how they say there are four humors or here is three, right? Here to do with phlegm, wind, and bar. Okay, it's to do with things in the body. So if they are not balanced, then we have disease or they will cause disturbance in the body. Because of that, when they are unbalanced, so object might appear in the mind, right? Sometimes we have bad dreams also because the body too hot, too cold. Okay. Now also this interesting. Then the influence of the deities. Now people always believe how does the god, the deities communicate with you. Sometimes deities can cause you to have dreams or you have visions or something like that. They all come through the mind door. All right. So sometimes deities they will show something in the idol, see some sight. Like in the Metta Sutta, remember, the monks they why they start to chant the Metta Sutta because when they practice in forest, the deities are not happy with the monk, so they start to show some horrible sight and sound. So that is the power happen in the Fido. But here is talking about something the deities can cause you to have dreams or you have vision. That is the through the power of mind door. Here is nothing to do with idol or ear door and something. Okay. Now, right? There's another comprehension realization. Okay, so uh let's see. Okay, Subang, can you read this one? Subang? Yes.
Yes, Sergey. Wait, And comprehension means directly seeing it. For example, we have studied and know there are four noble truths and there is Nibbana. Until we realize Nibbana by Maggacitta, we do not know Nibbana directly. Now we think of Nibbana. Nibbana is the object. That Nibbana is presented to us through mind door, or at the moment of Gurtabu. Gurtabu can take Nibbana as object, but that is also direction, not realization. Realization comes at the moment of Magga or path. All these objects are understood through the mind door, or these objects enter the range of cognition through the mind door. Through the mind door, many kinds of objects can be presented: past, present, future, and also time-free consciousness and nibbana. In mind door thought processes, the objects are divided into only two: vibhuta and avibhuta. Vibhuta means clear, and abhibhuta means unclear. There are only two kinds of objects for mind door thought processes: clear and unclear or obscure. Since it is presented through mind door, we do not need Pancha Dwara Vajana. There are 7 javanas, and then 2 registration moments and bhavanga again. We need not worry about past bhavanga or 17 thought moments because mostly the objects of these mind thought processes are past, future, or time-free. That is why there is no Atita Bhavanga or past Bhavanga here. According to this manual, the mind or thought processes runs vibrating Bhavanga, arrested Bhavanga, Mano Dwara Vajana, 7 Javanas, and then 2 Tada Aramas. For obscure objects, still we do not need Atita Bhavanga. We have vibrating Bhavanga, arrested Bhavanga, Mano Dwara Vajana, 7 Javanas, and that is all. Then there is Bhavanga again. Later, we will see that registration can arise only with clear objects. With regard to obscure objects, no tada aramana arises. In the thought process for obscure.
Okay, thank you very much.
Oh,
All
wait.
right. Okay, thank you very much. All right. Now, here it explains why there's no Atita Bhavanga, past Bhavanga. Okay. Because the object of the mind or process are this one. Because the object can be only past, future, or time free. Okay. It's nothing to do with a current object. So if it's to do with the idol will be current object. So there will be need to be past bawanga. So here it says that since nothing to do with current object is only past, future, or time free. Okay. So better write down. Okay. So in this one, okay. So here no past bawanga. So I put here. Okay. There is no past bawanga because the object in the mind though is past, future, and time free. Time free means normally to do with the concept, okay? Because concept is actually nothing to do with past, present, or future. Past, future, and time free. That's why here explain there's no atita bawanga, past bawanga, or 17 top moment. All right. Okay. All right. So we finish here. So I think we have 5 minutes break. Then we can open questions because if not, I will explain the vipassana point. I'm not so sure if I will need to put the apana process. Apana process means that the just now the supramundane process. If you feel that you all want to learn more VT, so I can put the apana about this one. But if you feel that up to here is enough, then what do you think? Do you want to learn about this? Or you think it's enough, too much VT already? How about Chai Hun? What do you think? You want to learn about this? Or you
I
prefer to learn Patana?
already um how long is it very difficult? This one already blur already.
It will be something like this, but it will be more because it to do with the psychic power and to do with very high supramundane. If you don't understand about like jhana practice, I think it will difficult for you to understand like jhana, first time jhana, subsequent jhana, first enlightenment, then the another practice is quite the cessation practice where the mind, the feeling, and then the sanya, and then the what? Sanya and feeling totally cease. It's actually to do with meditation, but very deep meditation. Okay. All right. So, all right. So we have a vote here. How many of you feel that you want to learn more VT process to do with enlightenment, jhana process? So you can put the what? Okay. So for extra information, please read this Handbook of Abhidhamma, which is actually very interesting. Or if you feel that you prefer to listen, you can go to internet and look for this. I think that you can find in the Abhidhamma way. You can type U Silananda Abhidhamma lecture. Okay. Okay. There's a here. Okay. Yeah. Okay, you can download the recording. Just type Abhidhamma lecture U Silananda. Okay. Or you can go to this internet archive.org. It's good to just listen. Sometimes you don't have time, you don't want to no time to sit and listen. So you just want to listen to Dhamma, Abhidhamma Dhamma. So go and listen to some more here. All right. I think I listened this more than 2 times or 3 times. Yeah. So there are many. It actually is 64. So each about I think 1 hour. So 60 hours. Right? So it's a very good to listen. It's actually exactly the handbook of Abhidhamma because this book is a type out by his student Sarah, right? So right now we go to my note. My note actually is combination of three, comprehensive minor Abhidhamma, handbook Abhidhamma, and most of the time based on the fundamental of Abhidhamma, which actually taught in my university. Okay. So I will put the Vipassana point because I think it's important to see all the Dhamma, Abhidhamma in our practice. Okay, so I will invite somebody to read this 1, 2, 3. Okay. Sister Sumitra Khan, can you read for us these three?
The mental process happens by itself when there are an object and a base, and then, oops,
Okay, can you share your show us your screen also?
okay.
Okay. Yeah.
When when there are an object and a base, and then the contact between an object and a base, they also need a medium. The corresponding consciousness will arise. For example, a visible object comes into contact with the eye base. Eye consciousness will arise as a result. Here, visible object and eye base are the causes and belongs to rupa category, whereas the eye consciousness is the result and belong to nama. The consciousness arises and passes away and passes the information to the next consciousness. No one is in charge of these processes. The Viti process is Chitta Niyama. There are 5 niyama. Natural fixed law that occur by itself. We cannot control these 5. This shows that all phenomena in the universe works according to the law of nature, beyond the control of human.
Okay, thank you. Estrada. All right. Now, first thing when we learned about idol process, so to do about idol, this is on the first page, right? So we just go back to the first page. Now we go back to the revision. All right. So for anything to happen, then for like idol, chakupasada, or we call it chakudwara, then the object, something that we see, visible object, then there must be medium, light, space, right? Like light or aloka. So for example, if your eye is good, if there's a door or chair or in front of you, there's object. But if your room is very dark, you cannot see. So it need the medium, then the eye consciousness, chaku vijnana will arise. So this process is called chaku vijnana viti, right? So this is the first statement about base, object, and medium, right? After that, it talk about the process, right? So when the eye consciousness arise, then it pass the information to the receiving consciousness. Then receiving consciousness pass to the investigating. So who is in charge here? Nobody in charge. So all these are we call it chitta niyama. So we already see the niyama in the karma. So remember in the karma place, we talk about there are few niyama. So let me go back to where is it? So in the karma place, okay, remember we are 5 order, natural order. So these things happen by themselves. Nobody in control. So the first one is the weather. All right. Whether hot and cold, who is in control? It's not the god or whatever. So now in Myanmar, it's raining. Why? Because the wind blowing from the sea of adamant. So it's coming from the sea. of course it will rain. And recently the typhoon coming from the east side, it brings lots of water. And then the bija niyama, so seed and plant life, and karma niyama, we already studied this. Now what we study today is this chitta niyama. So we call it the cognitive process VT. What is the lawful sequence of the functions of consciousness? All right. So we see like idle, I consciousness, the function is seeing. Then there will be receiving function, investigating function, and so on. So all this chitta niyama is an order, natural law that occur by itself. Oh. So there are five of them. Okay. So this explain the just now, the vipassana point. So the first point is we need to know everything must have a condition. So we need object and base and also medium as a conditions, three causes. Then the consciousness will arise. And after that, we need to know the consciousness, like I consciousness. After that, receiving, investigating, determining, all these, they will occur by themselves. So this is called chitta niyama. Okay, and when you see something, there will be I, visible object, and I base are the causes, are rupa. I consciousness is the result, and nama. So the moment you see something, you must know what is rupa, what is nama. Or you must know what is causes and what's the effect. All right. What is the cause and condition. So that's a vipassana point. All right. Of course, when you're busy with nothing, you're seeing, yes. But when you see what is uh actual truth about the phenomena. You should see cause and effect. You should see about non-self. You should see the process just happen by themselves. Nobody is in charge. So when you understand about nobody in charge, you start to understand more about anatta. Okay, so the next one. Okay, so these three. So the next student will be okay. Brother Ko, you want to read this one? Brother Ko?
Through the sequence of mind moments, the flow of consciousness continues uninterrupted like the water in a stream, and this creates the perception of a being, continues from one moment to another moment of life. In actual fact, at each moment there is a pair of nama rupa. Think of your mind as a river. The water continues to flow indefinitely. This flowing creates the illusion of a single, uninterrupted stream. Similarly, our thoughts and sentiments are always shifting. This can lead us to believe that there is just one me that exists at all times. But truly, every moment is unique and unusual. It's like taking pictures of the river. Each photo captures the river at that particular moment with different water and possibly various leaves drifting by. Our experiences are divided into two parts: nama, our thoughts and feelings, and rupa, what happens in our body and surroundings.
Okay, thank you. All right, from this reading, what do you understand, Brother Ko?
Uh, it is my one moment after another mind moment, which keep on flowing or which keep on continues on, similar to water in the stream, or water flow in the stream. So as a result of that, we perceive it as a continuity of moment, and we tend to think that this is something like a me. There's something existing, is a me or I or whatever, something concrete. Uh, but based on vipassana, when we can able to see frame by frame, then we'll be able to understand that it is actually a separate nama and a separate rupa or a different layers of nama.
Okay, thank you. All right. So how do you understand about the mental moment, the mind, like cognitive process? You just think about like a river, right? So it's like if you go to river, you would see the river continue to flows continually. So from very far, it look like the river is just one piece of water. So when you go down there, you can see there are many, many drops of water flowing continuously. So like what we have, we always think about a being, this I, this I living from one moment to another moment, another moment to another moment. So that's the meaning of this I. But when you look closer, actually at every one moment is only one nama rupa. Nama means our mind and rupa means our body. But the nama is changing very fast. The rupa also changing, right? But because they happen continuity, right? So we call it because of continuity. So it gives the illusion that's this me. But in fact, whatever you are yesterday is no more already. Because your nama rupa yesterday definitely no more. Even your nama rupa one moment ago is no more. So at every moment, our nama rupa change to new nama rupa. Okay? So we just believe that this me exists. So this how I think this is very nice. I asked the Nobu AI to help me to write this one. So I think it gets some extra information for other texts. Okay. So how do we try to see? All right. So first if you understand like this, then you start to understand about the concept of like bawanga. Bawanga is like continuous forever. Okay. But sometimes like when you see the river, it will have some ripples and whatever. So sometimes when the bawanga flows, so sometimes there will be eye process, ear process due to the impact of the object. But because it flows all the time, so we thought, oh, the mind continuous. When the mind you thought is a single mind, then you also think about single entity, a being continuous. Right? So that's how we understand Abhidhamma to help us. Okay. All right,
I
next.
see.
Yeah. Or maybe we finish reading this one first, Barako. All right. Then before we go for
Oh,
Q&A. All right. All right. Uh, Ashin Chanda, you want to read this too? Is she here? I think he left already.
Which ones here?
Yeah. Okay. These two. Yes, you can read. Read slow. Okay.
It should, it should be noted that entire cognitive process occurs without any self or subject behind. It as an enduring experiencer or inner controller, a knower outside the scope of the process itself. The momentary cittas themselves exercise all the functions necessary to cognition. This shows that mental phenomena are beyond control and have the characteristics of non-self.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Now, the first thing you must know, we call it this is a VT or the Chitta Niyama. It happened by itself, right? And nobody in control, right? So what we thought actually is a okay. So we can say in a way who experience is the mind that experience is a not to do with I or mind. All right. Or sometimes we believe we thought there is somebody a knower that knows. But actually it's just the mind. But it's not the same mind, it's a different mind. Because the different moments, we call it the one chitta have we call it momentary means different chitta have different moment. That is called chitta kana. All right. So in one cognitive process, there are 17 moments. So they have all the function. They do it themselves. They will receive, they will investigate, they will determine, they will process it, they will retain, we call it retentive. All right. So this is actually not in our control. So that's why we start to see non-self. And non-self is actually for those, that's why Abhidhamma is not for everybody, it's for those who have uh we call it more inclined to the wisdom. Because when you learn more Abhidhamma, you start to understand more about this anatta. Okay, I think we finished all the text already. Is there anything that I not finished? So we can open up for questions. Yes. Yeah, Barako, you want to ask something?
Yeah, just now regarding the the my moment, it's not. I don't think it's that easy to recognize the momentary mind
Mm-hmm.
uh, from moment to moment.
Yes.
So
That's
how
why
to
it's not in our province, in the province of Buddha, or maybe the Mahasawaka, like Sariputra. Because Sariputra be able to preach Abhidhamma, right? So we assume that he will have that knowledge to see the this very subtle momentary mind. Because one moment there are billion of consciousnesses. So how can you see it? Right? It's so fast. It's only I will say that those who have the great parami, like the Buddha, we only the Sama Sambuddha will be able to preach this one. It's not even the Pachika Buddha. Alright. So another way, if of course, if you can go like very deep meditation, you might be able to see this. Alright. Okay, next question.
so how would we be able to actually from the vipassana meditation be able to
How to
replace?
see?
It will be more on what you call theoretical rather than experiential.
Okay. How do you see? Is you have to see how you process the information. For example, when you okay. For example, when you see something, you notice that you don't process the information straight away, right? When you see a flower, even though, especially when you see a new things, I would say, when you see a new thing, you notice that your mind take longer time to process the information, right? Okay. Compared to, it seems like, of course, in Malaysia, you all used to Malaysia culture. You is used to the food you eat. For me, when I come to Myanmar, I noticed that my mind take long time to process the information because there are certain food I never see before. All right. Even certain, I will always ask, what is this kind of food I never see before? Even the fruits I never see before. So I can see the mind take more circle or more rounds of information. Rounds, let's say just now for idol to midol, then idol to midol to idol again, many ding dong to process the information. So that's how I say if we have wise attention, manasikara, okay, we yoniso manasikara, then we can see how the mind is trying to process. And also it tells us that actually it's non-self. Because what we can process is due to our input in the past, in either in this life or in the past life. Okay. I think with more mindfulness we can see some of the process. So when you see an apple, yes, receive. Idle, see, there's a receiving. Then they were investigating, determining. Then the javana. Then there will be a retentive. Okay. So when there is like this. Okay. So how about other student?
Saji, this is
Yes,
Shirley.
Shirley. Yes.
I have a question on the earlier part.
Which page?
Handbook, handbook, page 31.
Handbook.
So we talked about the
The,
through what was learned by oral
okay.
report, right?
Yes. Okay.
Why is this not belonging to the first category? Because it's something that we hear say, and therefore, why is it not related to sense door?
Yeah, but it's talking about from the sense though, then it comes to the, can you see the screen? Let me share. We are talking about independent, all right? Independent means that there are two possible way, all right? The first way is, yes, we call it, there is this one, consequences, the
Ah,
consequences to a final process. Yes, when you hear from here for the first time. Then after that, it will go to the mind door. But later, okay? Later means you would maybe you would think about what you heard. All right? Because when you hear something, sometimes after a while, maybe you will process it. So that's the way. And at that time, it's nothing to do with the FIDO already because the information already entered the MIDO. So the MIDO will process it, the what it has processed in the earlier MIDO. Can you see that?
Then I understand that, but then how is this different from the page 30, through what was directly perceived earlier? Because that is
Okay.
exactly, after hearing or seeing, we process it later.
Okay. But
So
it's talking
the
about
point
different
through what was
okay.
directly perceived earlier and through what was learnt by oral report, what is the difference?
Okay. So go back to that, all right? So the inference, you're talking about what is learned by this one, right? Okay. Another one is direct
No.
perceive. This one.
Not inference. Inference one I understand is
Okay.
this one through what was learned by oral report and
And
page
this one.
30
This one.
through what
This one.
was directly perceived earlier. Yeah, this one is yes. This one
FIDO.
is what you
Okay.
said, what you explained.
Yeah,
But I
yeah. All
don't
right.
understand the one by oral report. Yeah.
Yeah. Oral report means is by the ear door only. Ear door. You hear by the ear door. Then after that, when the information go to the mind door, so later you process what you heard. You know, you process what you heard. So this is called oral report.
But
So
the
just now you
page
say this is
30 one is
it's talking
five
about
senses.
five senses. This means that anything with the eye, ear, nose, tongue, and
Yeah.
body. It's more general. You say this is more general in a way. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
So and oral report, of course, is only through the first it must go to the ear door. Then after
Okay.
that, from the ear door go to mind door. First time go to mind door, but
Mm.
later subsequently because when we process things, sometimes we will think about what we heard. So this is called oral report. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Yes. Next question.
G. Sorry, I want to ask. It says the five material and immaterial planes, the beings do not have the retentive process. Retentive
Yeah.
process does not occur at the five material and
Yeah.
immaterial
Yeah.
planes.
Right.
So what is the significance of that?
Significance of that means that what you see the process is like this. I would say in general, you know, what we call it. What you see here is just a general statement that there will be, like for example, seven jhawana. For clear object, there were seven jhawana and there will be two retentive, right? So this general. For But on a special case, when something to do with the rupa arupa is for those Brahma, then they don't have the retentive process. So this means that when you learn Abhidhamma, you will learn something in general, but you also tell it on a specific condition, then such and such a thing will not occur. That's the reason here. Okay. So even like now, it's sure that there are seven jhawana, but you also say that when near that moment, because of weakness of the base, there are only five jhawana. Okay. So this means that what we learn here is something general and what we see here is more specific example. All right.
What is the function of the
Sorry.
retentive?
Retentive just retain the object. Just remember
Retentive.
it. It's like, the example of mango.
So
So
meaning
yeah, when you eat the mango, after you swallow the mango, the taste will not disappear. The taste will still in the tongue. So it's just an example. So after the jhawana
the
process the information, the object is still there because it's not finished yet. So it will retain for 2 moments before it disappear. Because there will be here also only 12 moments. Okay. For the idol, there will be 17 moments. Because the lifespan of one rupa is 17. That's why after jhawana, there will be 2 moments that still take the same object. So that's the function. We call it retentive. I think I
You mean
suggest
the
you read
means that
the
the Rupa and Arupa do not retain the memory.
no, because the way they process is different. They are not in the Kama Vachara world, sense sphere world. Okay? The process is different because of different blend.
Okay.
All right. So I suggest you read the handbook of Abhidhamma. So maybe I haven't do a search yet, but maybe you can do a search later. It will take some time to search. I'm not so sure where to search here. Okay, so what I call it? Retentive. Then cannot find here. Okay, maybe. Okay, this is the Apana Jawana already. So later we do a search. I think they're too much. But we can read something about here he give a good example about how you see in a Maido process. Okay, I think we can read this one. You want to read for everybody? Chai Hun can read this one.
When we say I see a rose, first the rose comes in the avenue of the eye. That is the first thought process, Atimahanta. The first one for the eye door process. This thought process arises and disappears. But at the end of the thought process, we have not seen the rose. We have just seen the visible object. We do not know that it is a rose at that moment. We just know that it is a visible object. After that, one kind of mind or thought process arises, taking past object as object. The lifespan of the object of this thought process is 17 thought moments. After 17 thought moments, the object disappears. Actually, the rose disappears, although you may continue seeing the rose. Actually, the rose you have seen with the first thought process has disappeared. When it has disappeared, there's another thought process, which is through the mind door. That process, a mind door process, takes that past object as object. It is like bringing it back to your mind. So that kind of thought process arises. Many such thought process of that kind may arise. That process is called taking the past. It is a process of taking the past as object. Then another thought process arises. The process taking the whole, taking all. When you see a man, let's say, first you see the head. Actually, you don't see the head at once. You see the visible object or the material particles. So there's seeing thought process, and then a process taking the past as object. Then the two processes arise many times until you have seen all the material particles in the whole man.
Okay. So what it explained here is that actually sometimes we can just take many process, between what you see something and your idle process, then go to mindful process. So it will occur many times you see, and then you process, see and process until you see all the material particles in the whole man. Right? And here is talking about the lifespan of the rose is 17 moments. So it's what you say that when you see something is considered a present object, but when you come to the mind though, the rose might disappear. So it call it the past object. So it just trying to tell you the different nature object. It become the present object and past object, right? I think that's enough. I think I let you all to study some, okay? Because it's better you all read some more to process because it's better you all read some more and process in your own mind. Okay. Now I already show you that the method is according to fundamental Abhidhamma, which is easier. If you're going to tackle the comprehensive manual Abhidhamma, is too much detail. And then the handbook Abhidhamma is only when you have some specific point you refer to it. But of course, you are free. You are welcome to read the whole book. And if you're interested, go online. Like just now, do the search on Who's Lenanda Abhidhamma Studies. There's lots of recording, 60 hours. You can listen to many times. All right. So I think we will stop the VT process. But wait, Brother Ko. So basically, what we do is you must know that there will be idle process. After that, if you have idle, then ear do, nose do, tongue do, body do is the same process. Then after that, the different process will be on the mind do, right? The mind do only got two process: the clear object and unclear object. So this depend on the door. So depend on object, there will be a great object, then the normal object, then small object and slight object. Okay. Then after that, the main thing for Vipassana point is try to see how the process goes by itself. Nobody in control. It's just one mind pass the information to another mind and pass the information to another mind. So when you see something, it's not just I see something. When you see something, the idle process, then go to the mindle process, then go to the idle process to take the image again, then go to mindle. So a lot of process is going on. And it will happen if you are more mindful. So you notice that when you see something new, something unknown, actually it takes more processes. You see something, then idle process, then go back to mindle. So a lot of process is going on. Yes, Brother Ko?
Saji, just now on the lesson itself, there is this humor.
Yeah.
Humor. It looks like it's only the wind and the heat, I think, that will affect or cause disease, is it? The earth and
Actually, it's,
the
it's not this humor, I checked the internet, it's not to do with the four great elements, no? So you can check the humors. It's actually to do with the, we call it the four humors. This one is in the Hippocrates and four humors. So it's actually Western type of medieval medical things. It's not the four great elements in the Asian type or Buddhist type. You know, I think the line is a little bit slow. So you can check. All right, bar, yellow bar, black bar, yellow bar, phlegm, and blood. So it's not the four great elements. Okay, so it's another way of seeing our body. Okay, seeing our body, not to do with the four great elements, but black bar, yellow bar, phlegm, and blood. Okay, so Hippocrates, so it's a very long time Western medical ideas. Yeah, so you can see combination of four quality: hot, cold, dry, moist. Yeah, all right. Okay, I think some students are leaving. All right, I think we will stop here. Today, who's supposed to share the merits? Uh, who is it?
Myself, Saji.
Okay, brother. Okay, okay, good.
Yeah, can you please show your this one, slides?
Okay. You can you also chant in English, all right? Okay,
English, yeah. Okay.
okay. Wait, let me open first. So witty process is for us to contemplate how we see things. And I think if you see when you are in different culture is then you can see your mind take longer time to process the information. Okay. Okay, please chant in English and Bali, all right? Can you see now?
Yeah. No, yeah. Okay.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Kama yachana, forgiveness of faults. Kayena wacha chitena pamadena maya katam acayang kama me bante buripana tagagata kayena wacha chitena pamadena maya katang acayang kama me dama sanditika akalika Kayena wacha chitena pamadena maya katang acayang kama me sangha supatipana anutara by body, speech, and mind. If I have committed any wrong heedlessly, may the Buddha who has extensive wisdom forgive me. By body, speech, and mind, if I have committed any wrong heedlessly, may the Dharma that is realized by own self with immediate effect forgive me. By body, speech, and mind, if I have committed any wrong heedlessly, may the Sangha that has good practice and incomparable forgive me. Okay. Sharing merits with all beings. Imano punya bagan sabah satanam dema. Imano punya bagan sabah satanam dema. Imano punya bagan sabah satanam dema. We share this merit with all sentient beings. May they obtain the merits, these merits, and always be well and happy. Sharing of merits to the departed ones. Inam no natinam hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idam no nyatinam hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idam no nyatinam hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Let this merit go to our relatives. May our relatives be happy. Let this merit go to our relatives. May our relatives be happy. Let this merit go to our relatives. May our relatives be happy. Okay. Akka satta cabum mata dewa naga mahidika punyam tam amumo ditwa ciram rakantu sa sanam. May all beings inhabiting space and earth, devas and nagas of mighty powers, having shared these merits, long protected the dispensation of the Buddha. Akasata cabummata dewa naga mahidika punyam tam amumoditwa chiram rakantu de sanam. May all beings inhabiting space and earth, devas and nagas of mighty powers, having shared these merits, long protect the teaching of the Buddha. Akasata cabummata dewa naga mahidika punyam tam amumoditwa chiram rakantu mam parangti. May all beings inhabiting space and earth, devas and nagas of mighty powers, having shared these merits, long protect me and others. Blessing. Ayura Rogya Sampati Saga Sampati Me Eva Cha Ato Nibbana Sampati Iminate Samijatu. Longevity, good health, a rebirth in the heaven, and the attainment of Nibbana. May you achieve this by these merits. Blessing to the world. Devo wasatu kalena sasa sampati hotu cha pito bawatu loko cha raja bawatu damiko. May the rain falls at suitable times. May the crop be abundant. May the world be prosperous. May the king be righteous. Okay, Patana aspiration. Ada imaya patipadaya jara maranamha pari mutisami idam me punyam asawaka ya waham sotu idam me punyam nibanasa pacayo hotu idam me silam magapala nyanasa pacayo hotu. Indeed, by this mental training, I shall surely be freed from aging, sickness, and death. By my merit, may I eradicate all defilements. May my merit be conducive to the attainment of Nibbana. May my observation of morality be a condition to attain path and fruition knowledge. Imina punya kamena mame balas samagamo satam samagamo hotu yawa nibbana patya. By these merits that I have acquired, may I never meet foolish person. May I meet the wise and the virtuous person until I attain nibbana, ultimate peace and happiness. Okay. Buddha sasanam ciram titatu. Buddha sasanam ciram titatu. Buddha sasanam ciram titatu. May the Buddha's dispensation teaching last long. May the Buddha's dispensation teaching last long. May the Buddha dispensation teaching last long. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Brother K. Very good, powerful voice. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. Next week,
Thank
who
you,
will be in
Saji.
charge? Who want to be volunteer next week? You know, I call the name. Sister Chin Si. Okay, can you share your on screen? Sister Chin Si. Are you around?
Uh,
Can
I'm not
you
so I'm not so used to chanting.
but it's okay. Since you're not so good in chanting, it's good to practice the chanting, right? Okay. Okay, can you make your own slide? It's okay. Just the normal chanting like that. I think you know, right? Those are sharing merits and then or you can get from Chai Hun also. Okay. All right. Try your best, no problem. Everybody is learning here.
But Saji, yours one is more complete, huh?
Yeah, but my I think there's a little bit English mistake here. Had to upgrade the English mistake. All right. Okay. Sister Chin, Chai Hun, Chin Si Yin. All right. You try next week, yeah? Okay. Okay. So we stop here. All right. Thank you
Thank you,
for joining in.
Saji.
All right. Bye. Okay. See you
Bye.
all.
Thank you,
Okay.
Saji.
Bye.
Sadhu,
Thank you,
sadhu.
Sadhu.
Saji.
Sadhu.
Sadhu,
Thank you,
sadhu,
Saji.
Thank you,
sadhu.
Saji,
Good night,
Saji.
Okay.
Take care,
Nibbana Sapache
everybody.
Hotu.
Good night. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, buddy.
Okay. Thomas, you want to try? He left already. Okay.